How many states do you believe should exist between the river and the sea? Do you believe in a two-state solution, or one multinational state for all who reside in the region? In one of the latest episodes in their Surrounded series on YouTube, Jubilee showcases this ongoing debate within Palestinian society.
Understand that the Palestinian community, just like any other community, we are not monolithic. We have a variety of perspectives.
This particular episode of Surrounded starred a Palestinian peace activist by the name of Ahmed Fouad Alkhatib. Born to Palestinian refugees in Saudi Arabia, Ahmed, through his Project Unified Assistance, seeks to bring the Israelis and the Palestinians together along the path to peace. As is done in the Surrounded series, Jubilee surrounds Ahmed with 20 people who disagree with him. In this case, campus protesters. While Ahmed seems to be a staunch supporter of the two-state solution, it appears many of those around him think otherwise. Take a look.
Being pro-Palestine necessitates accepting a free Palestine side by side next to Israel.
Why should the Palestinians give up their land in the first place? The Israeli state was built on top of Palestinian land. It was built on top of the blood of Palestinian people. Your family has suffered for this.
You can't want to have two states when you have a regime of apartheid.
My peace is not giving my land over to the people who have consistently occupied and then continue to build.
And yet, it is when another Palestinian from Gaza sits down to debate with Ahmed that finally there is a degree of consensus regarding the two-state solution.
We also agree that Palestinians, good percentage of them, don't mind having a two-state solution living side by side by the Israelis.
So what is the reason given by these very passionate college campus protesters as to why the Palestinians in Gaza and in Palestine should not agree to a two-state solution and should continue to fight this war? Well, they say Israel was built on Palestinian soil, and it should all go back to the Palestinians.
The Israeli state was built on top of Palestinian land. It was built on top of the blood of Palestinian people. As a non-Arab person, this confuses me that somebody who is Arab does not acknowledge the pain of their own family members.
Decolonized can only liberate themselves through armed resistance. And you want to delegitimize Hamas. One person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter.
The moral outrage that's put on colonized resistance is doing the bidding of Israel.
Yeah, Mason. It's almost as if peace benefits both sides. Here's what Ahmed answered.
And first of all, delighted to finally speak to a fellow Gazan like that. Even when we disagree, that to me is far more important than, with all due respect to some other allies that suck up the oxygen out of the room, that feel the need to speak over Palestinians. 80 years later, Israel is a recognized state that exists, that is recognized by the entirety of the international community. And this illusion that armed resistance is going to get rid of 7 million Jewish Israelis. The people of Gaza are paying the price of the very strategy that you are promulgating. The people of Gaza, Gaza are paying the price.
I'm sorry.
The people of Gaza.
You're wrong.
My
the
family,
people who are more concerned with upside down triangles than children dying.
You are more concerned
than
with
people burning
slogans
alive.
and sloganeer. Not you per se. I don't care about slogans. I care about dead Palestinians. And God, I want to stop that at all costs.
Ahmed over here is expressing to the protesters a very powerful sentiment. As just as the protesters believe that the resistance of the Gazans and of Hamas may be, it is ultimately his family and the families of the Palestinians who are the ones paying the price for this resistance. And what a price they are paying. If you want the Palestinians to continue to fight, it's not your lives on the line. It's their kids who are dying. It's them who are starving. It's them who are continuously subject to air raid sirens and missiles and terror within their midst. But if this is the case, how can these Westerners who are living in their comfort in the United States justify telling the Palestinians that they must continue to fight this war? And their answer is twofold. One is the age-old lie that Israel is perpetuating a
Genocide.
The genocide. Genocide. Genocide.
Genocide.
The genocide. The genocide.
Genocide.
The genocide. Genocide.
By genocide.
no less than 11 times genocide against the Palestinian people. And the other is that we, the Israelis, are not interested in peace.
But how do we make peace with people who don't even see us as humans? Why do we even talk to people who don't give a... They don't care about me. They don't care about you. They look at us as goyim and all this bullshit. They look at us as like Gentiles.
I do not agree that we should find common ground with people who support a genocide. That's unacceptable.
Make peace with your enemies, not with your friends.
No, we do not make peace with people who are murdering children.
How is that okay? How are we supposed to work with them?
But I think you're, sorry for saying that, delusional. When you are assuming that you can sit down with such an aggressive government and saying they are willing to accept my existence. The problem, it's not us who's rejecting this. It's not us who are building settlements and creating the West Bank into Swiss cheese form, where people in Bethlehem, my own town, young men cannot travel more than 2 miles away from their homes without a checkpoint. If they have to go to a Ramallah or another city, they have to go through a valley called Wadi Nar, which is a very, very scary drive in the mountains and the hills. And the half an hour, 45-minute trip will take them 4 hours to go around. It's not us who are rejecting the peace.
Your people have to go through checkpoints and go through dangerous roads, and this is why you cannot make peace with us. Crimea River Ahmed, that is the second Ahmed. Let me tell you what this is like from an Israeli perspective. Over the last several decades, we have had many, countless incidents of Palestinians coming through these checkpoints and stabbing and shooting and setting up suicide bombings on buses, in cafes, in malls, public transportation. This is why these checkpoints exist, Ahmed. So if you are justified in not wanting peace because we set up these checkpoints, are we justified in not wanting peace because we are subject to regular terror and deaths of our brethren on our own soil? But of course, you know the answer, and I know the answer. It is only because of your anti-Semitic ideas of what a Jew is. A bloodthirsty Jew with little regard for his own life or for the lives of his people. And all he wants to do is kill and destroy those who are different than him. It is only because of your anti-Semitism that you subject the Palestinian people to endless suffering in the pursuit of your cause. Not their cause, your cause. Do you really think that a Jew is nothing more than a homicidal, genocidal maniac? Do you think this is the reason that you cannot make peace with us? Is this the reason why you insist that the Palestinians, through all of their blood, through all of their tears, through all of their suffering, why you insist that they must continue to give their lives in order to fight against us? And so I say to all of you who continues to support the terror activity of Hamas, of Hezbollah, of Iran, of anybody who tries to oppose the Jewish state in any means necessary, that it is your anti-Semitism, it is your hate of the Jews, more than anything else, that is causing the suffering of the people of Gaza.
I'll tell you what was happening on October 6th. 50,000 people were still alive, including my family members and probably many of your family members. There were 20,000 to 50,000 people working in Israel. There was aid. There were people who were able to build futures. There were students. There were universities.
And ultimately, it's Ahmed's view of what Gaza looked like on October 6th before Hamas poured over our borders and slaughtered 1,400 of our people. That gives him hope. Tens of thousands of Gazans were allowed to come over the border into Israel. They had work permits to come into Israel to make their money in shekels and to bring that money back into the struggling Gazan economy. There was aid going in every day. We had a de facto, if not peace, understanding with the people of Gaza that Hamas does not represent them, that perhaps we can come to some sort of peaceful coexistence, us and them together. And it was the armed resistance of Hamas that killed this dream for all of us. It was the pouring of millions of dollars of terror sponsorships from countries like Qatar and Iran for the sole purpose of propping up Hamas, sacrifice the lives of the people who live in Gaza. And so if you are in America and you are watching this, perhaps you're not familiar with the situation on the ground, but I ask you, do you wish to stand with those who sacrifice the Gazan people on the altar of jihad, on the altar of destroying the Jewish state? Or will you stand with those who have given it their all to peacefully coexist with the Gazans? And there's one thing I'll tell you now. If following October 7th, if the world had put 1/3 of their energy that they're putting into pressuring Israel, into pressuring Hamas to give back the captives, and to disarm and to leave Gaza forever, and to allow the Gazan people to rise up and take their destiny into their own hands, if that was what had interested the world, then today, a year and a half later, there would be peace. And perhaps we would be on a path of prosperity for us and for them and for all who live in the region. Hopefully that day will come very soon. Guys and gals, thank you for watching. This episode is dedicated in loving memory of an Israeli soldier who fell in battle several days ago. Moshe Noel was a sweet, inspirational, incredible man with an absolute heart of gold, who would have loved nothing more than to have peace with those who are different than him. We miss him dearly, and we hope that we will no longer have to mourn the blood of good people.